I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned sometimes it's not 80s enough.
What's up, guys? This is Tyler Hosley coming at you from another dimension this week. But you know damn well I'm still lurking. Or maybe I'm hiding in Dave's basement. You never know.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I learned that Tyler will sometimes send us a last minute message if he has been held back by a client. I mean, he calls it a work emergency, but we know he's really just desperately looking for his backup key for the fluffy handcuffs that he's been made to wear this evening. And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay! I mean, to be
Yay.
fair, that is a better job than either of us have. So,
Yeah. And it's like, as I was saying that though, I absolutely believe it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I love him, but my boy's a gigolo.
I got some stuff watched that I can't fully remember because it's quite a mass of movies. So I watched most of the Soho horror movie festival, the Pride event last weekend. That was how I spent my weekend, with a whole lot of LGBTQ plus horrors, and I'm still sort of fully forming my thoughts on some, getting them ready for review on the blog. But I generally had a good time, and what I like about Soho when you're there is just similar to a real festival. When you're at any festival and you know enough people, there's an immediacy with your sharing of reactions and favorite things, and maybe things you didn't like as much, and some of the filmmakers around. So you get a bit of that vibe from Soho, which I really like. And the films were generally good and good fun, I think. Obviously, there are some that tackle subjects in a different and a more serious way, but overall, the emphasis seemed to be on fun for the majority of the films. And I also decided to cave in, and I watched the Scream 3 with a commentary from a couple of podcast hosts that I'd heard of. Sadly, it wasn't us, Steve, but they were very good, and it was an enjoyable conversation. We were able to throw in our own viewpoints, comments on Courtney Cox's bangs, general Scream 3 chat, everyone sharing love for Parker Posey. I always forget in Scream 3 that it's I've got to forget her name now. It's Emily Mortimer or Emily Watson or Emma Mortimer. It's someone in that cast that I really like, and she doesn't stink in the cast, but she sort of feels like the most miscast one, just like ill-fitting in that kind of thing.
It's Emily Mortimer, just so you know.
Yeah, who's a great actress, and I like her in pretty much everything. But in Scream 3, for some reason, she feels like just the one person who really doesn't belong there. And this is a film with a cameo from Jay and Silent Bob, so there's that. But she just feels, she just feels the most misplaced, I want to say, not even necessarily miscast. And I've never quite figured out why. Maybe it's because they don't do as much with her character, so she's there.
You block out every time Scott Foley and Patrick Dempsey are on screen.
Hey, well, people are still loving on Patrick Dempsey, and when we were chatting about the film, I said, as a shorthand, should we just refer to him as McScreamy? And I was very proud of that minor punt. But
that I'm sure you were.
But yeah, I mean, Scott Foley is a whole bag of nothing there. Jenny McCarthy in Scream 3. Now, this is perhaps one of my controversial opinions. I don't know. I used to quite enjoy Jenny McCarthy in her, lighter film roles that she had. She was pretty good at some of the comedies that I saw her do. I thought she was all right. And then she sort of went off on one. Sometimes I've stopped sort of Googling people that have fallen from grace because I don't want to find out how low the depths are that people can sink to. But I'd heard enough about Jenny McCarthy. I was like, oh no. But when I see her back in these film roles and other stuff that she did, I'm like, yeah, I used to quite enjoy Jenny McCarthy on screen as a fun comedy presence. Do you have any Jenny McCarthy opinion, Dave?
As an actress?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I remember her old pictorials when she came to power, and she was, attractive enough.
Did she start out as an
Yeah, she started
MTV
on.
person?
No, she started as a Playboy bunny.
All right, okay. And then was she on
And then
MTV?
MTV, and
I
because she
think
was on Singled Out with what's his name, the Talking Dead guy, Chris Hardwick, and then there were the crappy
is
movies,
see the guy that does
and
the quite good impressions.
I have no idea. I never found him funny on that, so I didn't. I never watched Talking Dead, so he's the nerdist Talking Dead guy. I'm not as up on his career as some others.
Does he look a bit like a stubbly Topher Grace?
Yes.
Then yeah, I think that's the same guy. He's all right with his impressions.
He might be.
Well,
and then she became a crazy anti-vaxxer. Instead of being smacked down and told to shut the fuck up, she started selling quick cures to people who are desperate because God forbid your child not be, neurotypical. So my view of Jenny McCarthy outside of acting is complicated and vicious, but inside of acting, I'm indifferent.
okay.
I liked her pictorials, but I'm a pervert.
Yeah,
A lonely, sad old pervert.
that's we all know that. That's fine.
I will say Scream 3 Waste Patrick Warburton. And
yes, yeah. I mean, that's another one.
that
I always
alone
forget
is
he's
enough
in it.
reason to just scrub it from all memory forever.
Although, as much as I love Patrick Warburton, and I do, every role he does should be a voice role because it's just one of the best voices for voice acting ever. Even if I have to try and remember, he's not always being Johnny Bravo, which was fantastic.
I need to dig out the live action Tick and show that, or the first live action Tick and show that to Killa. She's of the age where she should love that now.
Nice. I guess one of those films counts as a bit of homework though, because one was called The Premiere, and it was how was it described again? It was like a mockumentary about someone trying to stage a musical version of Scream, and it was it was pretty funny. It was maybe a little bit too long. Maybe took a little bit too much time in between setting up certain scenes, because I think it's about like an hour 45, something like that. But the lead actor is really good. Everyone on screen actually gets that balance of behaving quite naturally, but also in that way that people are self-aware in front of cameras that they know are there. Like, the whole script is generally quite funny as well, and feels very improvised. So much so that I believe it's really well written. if you know what I mean. I kind of wanted to double check that maybe it wasn't as improvised throughout as I suspected, because like me overthinking that made me think, well, actually, there are strands running through it that are story strands that will tie together. I'm like, I think it's actually really well written and performed in a way that is so good. It all feels natural and improvised, and if there's any improv added, it's just all seamless. Maybe I will dig into it further and find out that it was either wholly improvised or just completely scripted. I don't know. The testament to the whole film is how it made me feel while I was watching it, and I just thought, I can't tell what has been from a page and what is natural in front of the camera. So that was really good. I recommend it, and I've thought more on it since it ended, and have thought back to it and sort of grinned at the memory of different moments. So I give that a recommendation.
Well, it's funny you said that because I also got a ticket for So Home, but I didn't get to watch most of it. I did see the premiere though. I enjoyed it. I think it is mostly well, it's like all mockumentaries where I think most of it is off the cuff, but I wouldn't say how much. I liked it. The guy at the Sam Pezzulo, who is the lead and also one of the writers and directors, is really good.
Yes.
He is absolutely excellent.
I mean, he's also been cloned from Dan Levy, right?
Yeah, I can see how you'd see that. I think he might have he might have a slightly stronger chin.
I actually paused it and had to bring up a photo of Dan Levy because Vicky's like, "Who?" I said, I think he really looks like this guy," and it was almost a 3/4 angle shot. He's got his glasses on, and the same photo of Dan Levy, and she's like, "Yeah, I can see it."
Yeah. I also really enjoyed it. I agree with everything you said. It's fun and worth hunting down. But besides that, I watched some more common fare. I watched Fear Street Prom Queen finally, and I was very on it. Like, it's fine. It's just it doesn't do anything that you haven't seen done in other things. Like, it lifts things wholesale and just doesn't do it as well as the things it lifted from. And the lead is fine, but like the whole time I was watching, I was like, why aren't we following her friend? Because her friend is so much better. And the villains kind of suck. Like they just are not. They're not Heather's villainy enough. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna
Yes.
do a movie
Yeah.
set in the hyper real '80s teen comedy world, they need to be more. And Chris Klein and oh crap. I totally brain farted. Catherine Watterson are just not up to the task of being those characters, and neither is Straza, who I haven't seen in anything else. I do know that she was in the Matilda musical, and she was oh no, you know what? She was in Paper Girls, and she was really good in Paper Girls. And if you haven't seen Paper Girls, you should. You should read the comic and watch the Prime series, because the Prime series was pretty fucking good. Straza is the weakest girl in that, but the show is pretty fucking good, and it didn't get a chance because folks wrote it off as a fucking Stranger Things ripoff. But that one season is stronger than anything Stranger Things has done since ever. So go watch Paper Girls, now that I'm thinking about that. But she's too weak for the villain. And the folks they partner her with are not strong enough to be those villains. And it's a shame, because I think it could have been something really fun, and it just does not stick the landing. But it's okay. I mean, but Like, we're 4 Fear Street movies in, and none of them really work for me. Now, granted, I'm not the target audience. I get that, but come on. Come on. Come on. Do better. And I watched Clown in a Cornfield, and you know what? I really kind of liked Clown in a Cornfield. I didn't love it, but I thought it was fun. I thought the cast, I thought the kids did really well. The action scenes worked well enough. The adult cast is kind of crap. Will Sasso is, I don't understand why Will Sasso's still around. Like, he was awful on Mad TV. Like, to be fair, he's okay in Loudermilk, but he's like the weakest part. Loudermilk is fantastic. Everyone else brings an A game, and he's just kind of there. But whatever. Keeps going on his sitcoms, and he's just not good in it. As he should be an intimidating sheriff, and there's nothing intimidating about Will Sasso, or funny. But there he is. And the twist is a little too obvious. Which, I mean, I know it's not writing the twist. Well, actually, it is writing the twist because there's sequels to the novel, so it's fine. I will watch the sequel when it inevitably comes because I think it made it like a bucket full of money and cost nothing. So I enjoyed it enough. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm not curious enough to read the book, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Hopefully, it goes somewhere fun from here. And it's nice to see Eli Craig get to make something else, even though he's another a nepo baby. I really kind of love Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and I enjoyed Little Evil, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad to
only
see him
found
get
out a few weeks ago. Is it
yeah.
Sally Field?
He's Sally Field's son.
Yeah.
He's married to a former Power Ranger.
Well, not everyone needs to pick up those nuggets of information, Dave, but I knew if anyone would have that information, it would be you.
Yeah.
Because there have been days when you have daydreamed about being married to the former Power Rangers.
And as a matter of fact, several. I did ever. The obsession with female Power Rangers is strong in my circle. Way back when they was new and I was in middle school, I knew a kid who used to clap his hands and chant Amy Jo Johnson, and I'm just putting that out there. It is a recurring theme, but that's all. Just thought I'd point that out. Anyway, yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not perfect, but again, the action scenes were good. The cast was good. It was head and shoulders better than Fear Street Prom Queen, which, did not live up to its core. But besides that, this week we watched the 1984 American mockumentary comedy. Speaking of mockumentaries, the classic This is Spinal Tap, a rockumentary by Marty Di Bergi, and the 1991 British independent fantasy Atlantis by, I think auteur is a good word, for Michael J. Murphy. I say, hey, Tyler, you want to pick a movie and tell us about it? But Tyler's a disembodied voice this week, so I'm going to fall on the grenade, and I'm going to talk about Atlantis. When two youths are kidnapped to be from the surface to be slaves in Atlantis, they end up being tangentially connected to a power struggle. I don't even remember the guy's name. I should have written it down. Between Cabbage Head.
Was it Sartor?
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is Sartor. Sartor looking his power struggle while looking for the Crystal Child, who can bring him ultimate power. So I've seen a couple Michael J. Murphy films before. Here's the problem. I'm gonna be totally honest. This is going to be a short episode, probably the shortest episode we've had in a while, because I do not have a lot to say about either of these movies, except I enjoyed both of them. So Michael J. Murphy does what I love about this kind of no budget film, the let's go put on a show thing. He comes up with a fun idea and he works it as well as he possibly can. He surrounds himself with people who are more than willing to give it a go. Sartor is played by a man named Patrick Oliver. And he does his best. He overacts. He chews the scenery. I think he's in quite a few films by Michael J. Murphy.
He's definitely in, I think it was Avalon.
He's in Avalon. He's in Death Run. I think he's in the last one, The Return of Alan Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's in like 20 of his movies. He's in a fair number of his films. And he's fine in all of them. And he's in Torment, which I have seen. But not just him. Judith Holding is one of his he has a lot of regulars, and his regulars are all very game, and they very much do the best with what they have and what they're given. But even like the secondary folks do their best. So I see these get like shit on a lot. Like on IMDb, I think the average rating is a 4, and that is totally unfair. These guys made a movie with nothing. They went into a basement. They put up paper mache rock walls, and they did. They built full paper mache rock walls, and they made sets, and they went above and beyond having nothing no money, no anything, and they made a film, the best film that they can. And I love it. The fight scenes are goofy. There's several shots of these giant statues that are just tinfoil pressed on action figures, and I love them. I have said many times on this podcast over the years, I really love the whole, hey guys, let's go put on a show aesthetic and vibe for some low budget, no budget features. And Murphy is deep into that. And it really comes through. There's an energy, there's a verb. It's not perfect. The ending is a little goofy, but it's a lot of fun, and they do the best they can with what they have. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for not just Murphy, but all involved. And anybody that would call this less than average is painfully wrong, in my opinion. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's art. I'm going to say that it is an entertaining. What is it? It's like 70 minutes. Okay,
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry. It's an entertaining 83 minutes. I mean, it goes by in an instant. It's entertaining throughout. It's goofy fun, made for nothing. And we watch a lot of made for nothing movies that are absolutely atrocious. We watch, like, in a month, we watch at least 3 made for nothing movies that hurt most people. I have cried repeatedly watching some of these films. And there's no reason to cry for this. I mean, it's fun. It's an absolute blast. And I am glad I finally got to watch it. So thank you, Kevin. I got to knock off the rest of his oeuvre. I've only seen maybe like the 5 I mentioned earlier. I think are the only ones I've seen. But they're great.
I have to say, I'd only seen Torment before this. So it's just.
But I also, like Craig, I like to inflict these kinds of things on myself. It's another analogy I've used before. It's the panning. It's panning for gold, or digging for that clear diamond. You watch a lot of shit before you find the nugget. I watch a lot of shit, but so far, Michael J. Murphy has yet to not deliver a little nugget of gold for me. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Nice. I mean, I generally agree with what you say. Unlike now, uh, it's kind of a good job that Craig's not with us this week, because I wanted to say, unlike certain other auteurs that we've covered on the podcast, whose name rhymes with real bean, like Michael J. Murphy, his films feel they are micro budget, they are small scale, although trying to tell epic tales, but they never feel like vanity projects somehow. He's not putting himself front and center in the films. He's not using his films to keep hammering home whatever message is on his mind for that month or year. He's wanting to tell stories, and he gets a group of people that he hopes can help him tell those stories. Now, that's difficult enough in, well, I would actually say in Britain, when he was working outside any studio system. And then to say, oh yeah, we're going to do a film with Atlantis in it, is kind of insane. Like, if you want to make your film even harder to make, then yeah, let's do about Atlantis. I did worry we would watch this and it would be the kind of film where you'd have to hold some translucent blue sweetie wrapper in front of the camera just to give it that effect. Like, that's what I thought we were going to get. But instead, we do get those paper mache walls. We get, I would say, some of the makeup and effects are pretty decent. You know, the makeup
Oh,
on
I love the look
Sartor.
of Sartor. I mean, he looks like he's out
Yeah,
of an anime, and I am here for it. He looks like Piccolo from Dragon Ball. I'm down with that.
it was surprisingly impressive for that. I think the script is a bit weak in terms of moving the characters around and maintaining momentum. But again, as Dave said, this still really kind of flies by for the 83-minute runtime. It's just, although certain things aren't really taking the plot anywhere for a while, it still jumps around enough that it's just keeping you busy. But it can't quite get over the cast not really having anyone else that's that memorable. I know you like the Queen Lady, Dave,
I love
but
the Queen Lady.
I
Half my
need
notes are
to,
about how much I love the Queen. I need to tell you that I love the Queen. I don't know why, and I loved her bodyguard, whose name I couldn't tell you, so I called her Boobrella.
right.
Because that was pretty much her. She was a blonde with boobs.
I couldn't remember any of their names as they were then, like, going from one scene to the next. I knew them when they were appearing because I just, visually could still recognize their face from earlier, but I couldn't remember everyone's names. I I started to get a nosebleed when the finale was playing out. I was like, what's going on? This is absolute silliness. But then I just smiled at the silliness and enjoyed it, and enjoyed again appreciating what Michael J. Murphy was doing with what would amount to pennies in the budget of a standard filmmaker who would want to try this sort of stuff. So I really admire Murphy, and like, I have a genuine affection for this and for Torment. And that box set, just, to me, I need to make time for it because I just see it as potentially full of gold. And I'm so glad that he was given a bit of love, care, and attention at this stage for whatever reason. Whoever decided to go with this, like, this is how I want my micro budget auteurs to be. It's they're reaching way further than they can ever actually get. But they're still doing the best they can, and yeah, it just it works because of that. Like there's nothing here that takes away from your goodwill that you want to give it. I think that's the best way I can put it. He makes a film called Atlantis. It's about Atlantis. He tries to put in the odd scuffle with swords, and there's the sci-fi elements in place, and it's a fantastical thing. That is what you want if you're after this sort of thing, and you've seen the poster or any of the marketing. Like he tries not to shortchange anyone while barely having like £2 coins to rub together to get it done. I think it's really good, and he continues to be a name worth remembering and celebrating. So I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. I would be interested to hear Tyler's thoughts on it. So hopefully we hear those soon. And I wonder if he was able to take to it, or if it was too maybe sort of slow and awkwardly paced for him.
I don't know. T, what did you think? Now I'm expecting him to have sent me an audio.
I went into this movie arms folded, like I was going to fucking hate this, guys. I was ready to legit tear this shit apart, but I can't fucking do it because I kind of liked it, which surprises the hell out of me. Don't get me wrong, from top to bottom, it's pretty terrible from a filmmaking standpoint. It's not well made, it's not well acted, it looks bad, the action is bad, the costumes look homemade, and the main baddie of this looks like fucking asparagus. Like, no joke, he looks like straight up fucking asparagus. But I can see the labor of love Michael J. Murphy put into this movie, which I don't see at all with filmmakers, like Neil Breen. But I can see it here. And you can just see how much he loves this sword and sandal fantasy shit. Like, it shows through every fucking frame. He just didn't have the money to actually do it well. But there's just so much ambition here. You just can't help but admire it. The story is a mess. It's a mess of like unfocused ideas just cobbled together. But it's fairly entertaining for what it is. It's something I would probably never really watch again, but I didn't hate it like I would hate something like Neil Breen, for example, like I just said, or Night Beast. Did I love it? No, but I was entertained from start to finish, so that's like a total win in my book.
And Dave brought This Is Spinal Tap to the table because he wanted to just slap that down and take the sweep for the week. Although you can never tell with Tyler, Dave. So I am going to shock you now. Maybe. There's something for me that means I've never rated Spinal Tap as a 10 out of 10. And whenever I watch it, I'm thinking, why is it I've never rated it 10 out of 10? It's a great comedy. It's one of the great comedies. It's up there with one of the best. It's it's so well known that IMDb have a rating scale for it out of 11. It's just that's it. It should be 11 out of 11. It's a flawless masterpiece. But for me, there are a couple of scenes that kind of have you watching them take a little bit of a trip as they're figuring out a few extra gags and playing up more. And just occasionally, that doesn't work for me. Just occasionally. Like, I'll still smirk or chuckle, but there are a couple of bits that don't keep it at the level of the best stuff in it. But the best stuff in it is like the best in comedy. Now, this has got to sound really obvious. Stonehenge in this. Oh, well, I guess I should say, well, no, everyone knows Spinal Tap. It's a mockumentary about a rock band. That's it. Stonehenge is a prop put on stage with the wrong dimensions. It's been done to. Everyone knows that scene. Everyone enjoys that scene. You know, I still laughed really hard at that scene on this viewing because for some reason I was even more tickled this time watching Christopher Guest sort of turn and take it in while he's still playing guitar. It's great. It's not just everyone's reaction to it, which is also hilarious and the way it's all set up, but it's just him playing away and looking at his performance that's all written over his face. I love it. I think Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer are superb as the Tap. I think they're great. Rob Reiner is a lot of fun as Marty Di Bergi. I just think everyone here works with the characters are given. Like there's such a good fit. I'm not sure if I've ever seen Tony Hendra in anything else. He plays their manager, doesn't he, Ian?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like a much more well-known face over your way, Dave, or if he didn't do much else, but he'd done Spinal Tap and that's enough to kind of cement his place in history. I don't know.
Well, he was a UK performer, as you know, watching it, but he did mostly stand-up, I think. I think besides this, the only thing he really did was like on TV was crap, Splitting Image. I knew there was a famous UK TV
Spitting
show.
Image.
Yeah, Spitting Image. But besides that, I think he mostly did he did Broadway stuff. I know he did National Lampoon's had an off-Broadway show in the 90s maybe. He was editor-in-chief for Spy Magazine for a while. I mean, he's one of those names, he's been around and the dude's impressive as fuck, but you have to be like a deep cut humor nerd to know
Well, that's how good they all are, because you're like, oh yeah, obviously he's a British performer in that, and I'm sitting there thinking, is he? Oh yeah, he is. Because they all do the accents and they're all playing it up. I just forget like who's actually British and who's American. Spitting Image, you wouldn't have necessarily recognized his face. I don't know if you saw any clips. It was like a puppet program.
Yeah, it's a puppet show. I've seen bits. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Steve Coogan started there doing voices. Quite a few people used to work on that then went on to have good careers without the puppets. And then you've got June Chadwick as Janine, who is, let's say she's the Yoko figure, as they put it, and she's really good as well. Lots of people in cameo roles, from Billy Crystal to Fran Drescher, Patrick McNee, Fred Willard, just lots of different people there. Did you deliberately pick this, Dave, because you anticipated all the conversation around the latest album covers for Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh my god. Oh yes, actually that is kind of what kicked off my whole comedy thing. I saw that cover and I went, it is time to do Spinal Tap.
I honestly thought she was going to call her album Smell the Glove.
So did I. I saw that. My sister sent me that image and we both went, that smelled the glove.
When they described the album cover, I'm like, yeah, no, I've just seen that.
It is 100% smell the glove. So yeah, that is actually what kicked off all of Tyler's pain this month and next. So thank you, Sabrina Carpenter.
It's such great timing. I don't think I've heard much of her music, but I watched that cheesy Christmas special, and I've seen clips of Sabrina Carpenter. She's very pretty, and she seems to
She's
have like a
very
good sense of
pretty.
humor.
Her songs are very poppy. The thing is, they're also very dirty, and a lot of people like
Uh,
let their kids listen to it, and then they took them to the concert, and they were like, "Oh, this song's about fucking." And it's like, well, yeah, duh.
it would be good if she eventually came out and was like, "Yeah, it smelled the club."
God, I hope she does. I hope I hope it's just like a big joke, and when it's a joke in the new Spinal Tap movie, and then like her new album, the cover just changes on all digital platforms overnight.
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
amazing.
and it's never mentioned again.
Um, all of the songs in this, like the more that time has gone on, the more likely I am to just sit and enjoy the soundtrack of the Spinal Tap without needing any of the scenes for context. I really like "Give Me Some Money" and listen to the Flower People makes me laugh. They're really good pastiches. Um, and yes, I've sung along quite often to Big Bottom. So I may have blurted out now and again, "I've been working on a sex farm." They're all good, cheesy rock songs. They are very much in the mold of, I mean, you would believe any of them came from the AC/DC songbook, because that's all every AC/DC song is. Um, it's great. It's very funny. The music is very good. We're saying things that everyone has said for decades and will agree with us. We're not being big naysayers, but I just think I don't know. For me, as I say, I've never worked up to rating it as a 10 out of 10, and it's just little moments here and there where there's still it's almost like, a lot of the film has them doing great improv and sort of dancing around with each other and choreographing the dialogue and the reactions so brilliantly that when you can almost see them doing the work, I think that's the best way to put it. That slightly puts me off, and there are a couple of times that I get that feeling that we're watching them doing the work. So that's all there is to it. The thing is, Dave, have you heard of the British show called The Comic Strip Presents?
I have, but I have not seen it.
Right, so I want to say it started in the 80s. This is following on from my Mad Mel Smith knowledge from a couple weeks ago. So the Comic Strip Presents had sort of French and Saunders in the mix. Keith Allen was there. Rick Mail was in a few. There were some really good comedic performers, and they would do. Adrian Edmondson was there. They would do different kind of parodies, mainly of film types or genres. I think they did one feature film called The Supergrass, which has Robbie Coltrane walking out onto a breakwater, accompanied by two tribes on the soundtrack by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, which I mentioned because it's one of the great unsung moments in British cinema. It's just really great. But they did an episode that I watched and enjoyed when I was young, and I hadn't seen. This is Spinal Tap, and it was about a band called Bad News, and it was basically the Bad News tour, and it was an early episode of the Comic Strip Presents. So it had Adrian Edmondson and Rick Mail, had Nigel Planer, and I can't remember who that was. His name had been, I think, Peter Richardson was the other one who was a main staple of the troupe, and they're a heavy metal band who are going out on tour and trying to hit big, and basically turn up to places where there's like three people and a dog. And at one point, Adrian Edmondson goes on about how I think Jimmy Page had written "Stairway to Heaven" when he was 29 or something, and he says, "Well, I could play it when I was 14, so it's not that good, is it?" It's very interesting to think of people like myself who saw the Bad News Tour and didn't realize it was basically Spinal Tap being like, I don't even know whether I say it was being homaged or just being repeated, or if Spinal Tap. When was Spinal Tap out? Was it early 80s? Wasn't it 1980?
84.
Oh,
1984.
oh,
So
comic
it's
strip
it's
might have come
actually
first then.
well, the first is the Ruddles.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I might be talking absolutely out of my column because the Comic Strip Presents might have been either before or at the same time as Spinal Tap. So I thought all these years with my timeline being confused that they'd loved This Is Spinal Tap and wanted to copy it.
No,
But might just be completely wrong.
Bad News with Nigel Planner was it was actually 83. They were right around the same time.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Yep.
all this time I thought that was the first great heavy metal rock mockumentary moment I enjoyed. Then I loved Spinal Tap, and I was like, Comic Strip Presents a rip-off artist, the Bastards. And it turns out, yeah, it was just a bit of fortunate timing. I would recommend that to you as a bit of fun to check. I think the episodes are only about 30-40 minutes, and you would enjoy a different type of stupidity that's in line though with the This Is Spinal Tap music scene.
Nice. I will make note of that.
I mean, I hope people listen to all of that though and don't just cut off when they think I'm just wrong completely about Bad News Tour and don't hear your correction from me. God damn it, you've ruined my whole conspiracy theory, Dave.
Well, the thing is, they probably were filming them at the exact same time. It's just one of those weird, hey, these things just happened in synchronicity with each other. So
yeah, definitely, because there are moments where obviously there are moments in it that feel very tap. But when I first saw it, I didn't realize that because I'd never seen Spinal Tap.
The characters for Spinal Tap started as improvisations for a sketch comedy show that I don't think was picked up in like 79 called
All right.
the TV show. I think it was Harry Shearer and Rob Reiner were pitching it, and McKean and Guest worked on it. They were the parody band in the episode, and they invented all of it live in front of an audience. I think 79. It might have been 80. But like these things did not, nothing happens in a vacuum. So I'm not sure what was going on outside of it, except the Ruddles had their moment in that time. For a couple years they had a run. So maybe that's they went, oh hey, the Ruddles are great. So they both, someone in the UK and someone in New York went, hey, these are great, let's do them. And they both developed separately at the same time, like Swamp Thing and Man Thing for a comic book thing.
Yeah, possibly. I think, and with the British metal scene, I guess there were a number of bands coming up at that time or had come up in the
and in the early
previous.
80s, metal is the genre you would go for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've cleared that up, and my tangent makes complete sense to everyone that listened all the way through.
Yay! You usually got to listen all the way through first to make any sense whatsoever.
That was me.
Oh, that's you done. Okay. I'm sorry.
I included the comment again. Really sorry. I've only ever given it a 9 out of 10. That's
So, unlike Kevin, for me, this one does go to 11. And when folks look at me and go, "What broke you?" The answer very simply is this is Spinal Tap. You see, growing up, I lived in a place where you needed cable in order to watch TV. In the 80s, you needed cable. In the 90s, you needed cable. Today, you need cable to watch TV because it's in a little valley, and the radio, the air broadcast just did not come down into the valley. It like glossed over us, got blocked by the mountain, whatever. So there were times in my teenage years when we did not have cable in my house. And do you know what I did have though? A VCR. And I wore out in my teen years to early 20s. I wore out 4 copies of This Is Spinal Tap. There was a time when my brother and I watched This Is Spinal Tap. I really I don't want to admit this. But there was a time where we probably watched This Is Spinal Tap at least 3 times a week, if not daily, for a summer or 2. I can quote every line of this movie. In my sleep, blindfolded, in a deprivation tank. You want to guess what my only note is this week, Kevin?
Is it just like pages of scrolled ha 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 like you're the Joker in some padded cell?
No, it started and I immediately wrote, I'm really influenced by Mozart and Bach. It's sort of in between those, really. It's a mock piece, really. It's sort of, well, this piece is called Lick My Love Pump. It's a terrible accent, but that is my note. That is my
so
only
bad.
note for this. It's so bad. I know. I can't help it. I do really bad English accents to people in the UK because it used to annoy a friend of mine. And it's in his memory that my UK accents will never, ever get good. Rest in peace, buddy. Anyway, I love it. At this moment, I have a copy of their second album, the 1992 Break Like the Wind, within 5 feet of me. I could reach out, I could grab it, I could throw it in a player, and we could all listen to Bitch School or their duet with Cher, Just Begin Again, which might be either at the opening or the close of this podcast episode. I could do that. I could reach over here and I could hit my metal 25-year-old This Is Spinal Tap lunchbox. I love This Is Spinal Tap. I love the band. I think it's absolutely brilliant. McKean and Guest are just amazing, as is Harry Shearer. And this is right when Rob Reiner was at his peak. Do you know what movie actually ties into Spinal Tap? What other Rob Reiner film?
If I had to guess, I'm going to say I've got to take a wild guess on Misery.
No, it's The Sure Thing, actually.
Oh, I just thought there might be some like Spinal Tap album hidden somewhere in Misery or something.
No, they share a character. Their roadie Moke is played by a man named Robert Bauer, right?
Right. Okay.
Robert Bauer reprises his role as Moke in The Sure Thing. I think he's actually in The Sure Thing a little bit more than he is in Spinal Tap. He also plays Johnny from Twin Peaks, the Johnny Horn, Audrey's brother. In the pilot,
yeah.
he's replaced by oh god, what's his name? Eric Rondell in the 2017 series. I think Bauer's Johnny
this
in
was
all of the original series.
You may disagree, but I know if Craig was here, he would agree that this was the start of like Reiner's run between Spinal Tap and A Few Good Men. It's a phenomenal I
I
think it's
mean,
about 8 movies in a row, or 7 or 8 movies, just banger after banger.
he has a hell of a run. I mean, but I mean, there's one or two missteps. I mean, he'd throw Mama from the Train's a bit of a misstep. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just
I thought that was directed by DeVito.
oh no, maybe he just acts in that. He just acts in it.
Oh,
You're right. That is
maybe,
directed
yeah.
by
Like
DeVito. I
his
just remember he
director
was
stuff is
connected.
just.
Then I looked it up when you mentioned that. No, he acts in it. He does not direct it. You're right. I
As I say, I know you probably roll your eyes and not like A Few Good Men, but I still like getting his.
I mean,
So that
I
gives him,
have
I think it gives him about 8 years. It's
yeah.
solid.
I mean, I have issues with A Few Good Men. I think it handles it all really simplistically and it refuses to, actually be as punchy as it should be, but it's got some fantastic performances. I mean, Nicholson is absolutely amazing in that film. Tom Cruise is totally out of his depth, but it's well directed. And Nicholson is absolutely fantastic. Carries that movie to be something more than just, bleh. But where was I? I totally got sidetracked. I love Spinal Tap. I love Spinal Tap. I love the three guys involved, the four guys in the lead. They are all brilliant and wonderful. And it's kind of a shame that Harry Shearer's career has essentially become just The Simpsons after this. And that's not a knock on The Simpsons. I mean, The Simpsons had some great stuff still to this day, but he co-wrote Real Life with Albert Brooks, and Real Life is fucking amazing. Fernwood Tonight, he co-wrote with Martin Mull. I mean, the dude is brilliant, especially for satire. His turns in the later mockumentaries with guests are all amazing. And I'm not going to blame anybody for taking the Simpsons money. I'd take the Simpsons money in a fucking heartbeat. That's go fuck you money, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, but it also limits what he can do, and I think the man's brilliant. Christopher Guest is fantastic and hilarious. His mockumentaries are, for me to this day, his late '90s to 2006. I haven't seen Mascots yet. I know that's on me. The 2016, I think.
Yeah,
One.
I was just looking up the filmography and I gave
Yeah.
Mascots 5 out of 10. I was
Yeah,
disappointed by that.
it just did not. Yeah, it just did not like the idea did not grab me, so I didn't bother. And then nobody talked about it, so I was like, I'm justified in that. But the others I think are all brilliant. Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and A Mighty Wind. And I enjoy For Your Consideration, but the first three are all they're not equal to Spinal Tap, but they're all pretty fucking great. Um and I have expressed my appreciation for Michael McKean as a performer many times on this podcast. We seem to watch a lot of weird things with him popping up in supporting roles. Uh he's fucking great. It's It's a classic for a reason. I cannot fucking wait to be able to go see the follow-up. I've seen both the concert movies they released also. Spinal Tap, what is it? The Return and oh fuck, what's the 2009 one? Uh they play at Wembley through most
Oh,
of it.
I don't know. I was
Uh
going to ask if you know what else because I haven't.
yeah, well the the first one, it's mostly also a concert movie. But there's like I want to say like an hour 20 minutes of them just like free free flowing gags in a uh interview. And it really underlines that these three are absolutely fucking brilliant. God, what the fuck was the name of the other one? It's gonna drive me crazy. I cannot for the life of me fucking remember what the other one was called. It's the Royal Albert Hall in the first one.
It wasn't
What?
just break like the wind again, was it?
No, because Return of Spinal Tap was to promote Break Like the Wind. That's the one with the hour-long interview, where they play at the Royal Albert Hall. And it's another concert, and I cannot for the fucking life of me remember what they called it. Shit. Anyway, I can't wait for Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. September cannot get here fast enough. Like I don't want to wish my life away, but I am so excited for it. I cannot express how, even if it's terrible, I'm gonna pull a total fucking Tyler. Total fucking Tyler.
Do you have no
Yes.
reservations at all?
I have nothing but reservations. But it's like I said, the first movie is foundational to me as a person, you know? I do feel very much like Tyler this week. Because like every movie Tyler makes us watch is foundational to Tyler as a person, or the theme is foundational to Tyler as a person. It's why I feel so bad ripping into his shit like a starving man at Golden Corral. But yeah, I'm going in. I'm going in with high hopes, and if it's terrible, I've seen my father cry once in my life, and that was when we left Man of Steel. And he'd watch Superman get totally effed. I think I might finally feel that kind of devastation leaving for this one. So I'm going in with the thought that it cannot possibly be bad. I'm going full Tyler.
Okay.
Was it Back from the Dead? Was Back from the Dead the other one?
I have no idea. I'll take your word for it.
This is gonna drive me fucking crazy. Because it was huge. I think it was like 20 tracks, and it was all re-recordings, and they did like alternate versions, like they'd been forgotten and lost. It was a fucking crazy bit of work. I think it hit like the number 50 on the US charts when it came out. I think it is Back from the Dead. I think it is Back from the Dead, while I think about it. But I don't quote me. Don't quote me. I'm blind with my fanboying. I fucking love this movie. And if Craig was here, we'd be sitting here for the next hour while he just recycled quotes from it, and then I'd quote back at him, and we'd be in an ending battle of the quotes. Oh, I'm sorry, T. What do you have to say about this one?
So I actually really like This Is Spinal Tap, which is crazy because I can usually like take or leave the Christopher Guest mockumentary style comedy. It's usually not my thing, but this one does it really well. The script is really good. The satirical elements are great. What I love about how the satire is handled here, it never feels like it's like actively poking fun at heavy metal. It felt more like a loving nod than a parody, which I really dig. It's well directed. This is definitely like Rob Reiner's best by far. The cast is really good to the point that they just completely sell it as a real band. I love the music in this. Like, I love it. The songs are a fucking blast. Sex Farm is a fucking banger too. Like, I genuinely adore that song, guys. Like, I can't put into words. I fucking love that song. Like, I would play that on my fucking iPod all the time. Just it's so good. I love Sex Farm. It's such a good fucking song. But yeah, This Is Spinal Tap it's good stuff. Dave and me may have different taste when it comes to comedy, but we definitely agree on this one. Really, really good stuff.
Oh, that was very interesting. Thanks, buddy. See, that's going to be really weird if he doesn't send me the video files and I just keep in these blank spaces.
Yeah.
Or funny. I don't know which. All right, it's time to pick one, and it's like I loved Atlantis, but it's Spinal Tap, right?
Oh yeah. Like it's Spinal Tap. Like I can't not vote for a film. I sit here going, oh, I don't know why I've never given it a 10 out of 10. It's obviously Spinal Tap. It is
It is
like
obvious.
it's one of those movies that is, you know, everyone should watch it.
Everyone should watch it. And if you like movies and gumption and grit, you should watch Atlantis. It's on Amazon. No, it's on YouTube.
Oh.
You can watch it free on YouTube. You can't rent it. You can't get it anywhere here. Here in the States, the only place is if you get that box set, which we don't have. So if you import that box set, then you can see it. Other than that, you can watch it on YouTube, where multiple people have uploaded it, and you should watch it because it's good. Well, it's not good stuff, but it's watchable stuff. But mostly you should watch Spinal Tap. You know what? Never mind. Fuck Atlantis. Watch Spinal Tap twice. Tell me how you feel about it, and then let's all go watch The End Continues together at the same time, and then we will all group chat about it on a giant no? Okay, let's not do that. Let's just I'm very excited. If you hadn't guessed. Next week we're bringing it into the month with our very gay special. The films already revealed to be in our watch pile are The People's Joker and Brokeback Mountain. But that hasn't stopped Tyler and Craig from also having us watch A Room in Rome and Mysterious Skin. I love how we had 4 chances. We had 4 chances to watch something joyful and not about misery and pain for a minority group. And what did we watch? What did we choose? Lots of fucking tears. Why is it always the fucking tears with you guys?
Well, you know, Becky was asking me why I spent last weekend watching so many gay horror movies, and I was like, well, wait till we see what we're covering on the podcast next week.
I mean, to be fair, so I fixed the RSS feed finally, right? After years of meaning to, but there's something wrong. There's something wrong. It had glitched and just would not save the expanded feed for years. So I deleted it. I made a new one. There's 250 of our episodes on everything now. And I got 750 notifications from Google that we are not allowed to be played in Russia.
Oh, well.
And we're celebrating that with another very LGBT focused special. And we watch a lot of not heterocentric films. And that's cool. Lots of lesbians up in here. I'm surprised that has not gotten more comment than it does. Anyway, you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on there's something I'm forgetting.
YouTube sometimes.
Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, where Kevin does at least one awesome video a week. They are some of the best things we put out. Thank you, Kevin. On any podcasting platform of your choice. And if you really need to get a hold of us on those podcasting platforms, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and left a comment and review. This is what I have Tyler do. Tyler's so much smoother at this. I can't remember shit for more than 3 seconds. And if you really need to get a hold of us, you can email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com, where we will do pretty much any painful film recommendation you have for us. We are that desperate for your love and approval. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, Kevin and disembodied Tyler. I will talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
In your hen house, sniffing at your feed bag, sniffing out your back door.